Yep.
I got nothing. I got nothing for the intro. I don't. Where are you?
I am in a hotel in Washington, D.C.
Have you been disposed? Is that why?
I,
Or deposed? It's
when
deposed.
you asked me if I could do the show early, I still had my glasses on. I still had my dinosaur bed head. So
I really thought you were going to say your dinosaur jammies, and I was just going to.
Yeah.
That wasn't even
Yeah,
going to
I was still wearing a onesie.
And the reason I bring that up is it's pajama day at my kid's school.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, Paul, what did you do this weekend? Because I bet mine was more and less exciting.
Yeah, no, we have friends came down. We just came down to DC for a few days and, went to a few museums, walked a few 100 miles, the usual.
Yeah, a few hundred. That's good. I ruptured a water line in my basement. That was fun.
You did personally?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was fun.
How?
Okay. So we have a basement in the bathroom, which is right here. And in that bathroom, it's just a 90-degree wall because that's where the vent stack is for all of the sewage system and all that stuff. And so when we had the contractor come out who's going to install the moat in my basement, he said, you're going to need to take that wall out. And he's like, I can do it, but I'll charge you for it, or you can do it, and it's free. I was like, we'll do this. I mean, I've demoed the other half of my basement, and he's like, just take it out. And so I have a knife that's like that long. It's designed to cut drywall and like gypsum board and all that stuff.
Kind of see what's back there before you do anything stupid.
Yeah, and I should have bought a lottery ticket because I took one jab in, just one.
You went right through a pipe.
And of course, that is where the water line was on the inside of that wall.
And it went through a pipe.
Oh yeah, like it's sharp. It just copper pipe right into it, and then
Were you able to just?
Nothing got ruined. I mean, it's all, our basement's all unfinished right now, and it was probably maybe a small blessing in disguise because that pipe comes down, and then the valve that was down below it, which goes to the toilet and the sink, didn't work. Which didn't matter anyways because
so you actually remove a section and
right. So then it was like, okay, so I did the right thing, right? You pull that out, and then I put a new valve in and fixed it the right way. So now there's a shutoff valve that actually works. And but that little story was about 5 hours.
Yes,
so,
I would have duct taped it, but that's what you did is probably smarter.
Yeah, probably. And then I managed to hit what you can't see here. Then I managed to hit myself with a hammer right there. That's
sorry.
Oh, I blamed you for it. I don't know how it was your fault, but it was somehow. Yeah, not a lot going on. It's a Monday morning. There's
OnePlus formally stated when they're going to launch the OnePlus 7T. Actually, it's probably the 7T Pro, I would imagine.
And then we got the Huawei Mate 30 lineup fully leaked. Although these phones, to me, you could take all of, other than the iPhone, all of these Android phones, throw them into a hat, shape the hat, and pull it out, and you would not know what phone is coming out of there because they're all the same. They're all great. You're going to be happy with any single one of them. And
Speaking of which, has there been a resolution of your own possible? No.
This is just kind of me. Like, to my wife, getting a new phone is not some sort of like Christmas morning activity. It's probably more honestly inconvenient because one, she doesn't really want to give up that home button. Two, then she's got to kind of yes, I know you can back it up, but you got to reconfigure it and set up all your security stuff and remember all those passwords that she can't remember, despite the fact that I've pleaded with her to use 1Password. She has just been reluctant to make her life easier.
Yeah.
So
I think Wirecutter picked 1Password as their top choice, by the way, for password managers, if you didn't see that.
It's great. I would recommend it to anybody. Their LastPass is fine, although LastPass just patched an exploit where people were able to steal passwords, your last used password from it. But
right.
I think a password manager has significantly made my life easier in 2019. I think I can pretty easily say that.
Yeah. I mean, I use the one built into the browser. I'm not sure if that's ever going to bite me in the ass, but I synced it between Chrome and Edge, and I usually use Edge, but I mean, I kind of go back and forth, I guess. But
you should just, you can replace the password managers in these browsers now.
Oh, no, I understand.
Yeah, make your life easier.
Yeah, I'm sure it will happen eventually.
You know what's another oddity is, so I can't even remember the name of the app. I think it's called Ditto, is what I had been using for a clipboard manager, and I stopped using it because Windows 10 now has it built in. Right. But this is the most Microsoft thing ever. So the password clipboard works great. It remembers everything. You can now sync it across devices. That's great. But when you pin something in the clipboard manager, you would think, maybe I'm being too optimistic here, that means it would pin it to the top of the list.
Right. Does it maintain a position based on time of usage or something?
No, it just pins it to the bottom. So
you actually have to scroll down to go find it.
Yeah, and so here's the use case. So what I pin in these clipboard managers are all the like share links for like the podcast, like the RSS, the Google, the YouTube, the Spotify. I pin that in there, and having it at the top would make sense because it's
you can't reposition them. I've not really looked at this too much.
It's at the bottom. But I'm curious, actually, did it sync to this one? Does this version not have it? It's Windows V.
Stardock should look at every single thing that Microsoft does and just do it again better. That should be their business model, just fixing the mess.
Brad Wardell, if you're listening, there's your 2020 strategic
I have some ideas
plan.
for Power Toys, too, if you're curious.
Yeah, no kidding. Which the Power Toys is odd. This is another little oddity. So you can set up hurts me to say this, the fancy zones.
I know, what a terrible name.
The fancy zones. So you set them up, but they're not as good as the actual snaps because there's a gap in between them. Like they don't line up, the borders don't line up. There's some sort of like buffer zone. It's almost like a property variance. Like you can't touch that area.
Right. So we don't know who. I mean, this is probably made by an individual. I'm sure it'll be fixed over time.
Hopefully. So I don't know, Mr. Paul. What else is going on? It's just Monday.
Yeah, I'm going to be gone most of the day because I'll be driving. But I did work up an editorial for the second issue of the premium newsletter. But there has to be more in there because we have information about the people who didn't get the newsletter. The mess that is that. It looks like Stephanie has fixed the re-sign up thing. You remember we had the issue with the GDPR and.
It's not implemented yet, but we think we have a workaround that should make life easier for those people.
Yeah, so if that happens, this week sometime probably.
And if people haven't noticed, there's been some minor changes on the site, right? The premium badges now look a lot better, and I believe you can actually change the color of them. And then the staff badging just got refreshed.
Yeah, we spent, I don't know, maybe even 2 weeks on this, working on the icons and everything. And then Harrison posted it all and it was great, works and everything. And then I was like, the first day, like seeing it, I was like, you realize like we need new staff badges now too. And he was like, come on, seriously. And I'm like, well, sorry.
Yep.
Like once you see it like next to the other ones, you have to kind of do that one too.
Yeah, because the old check mark looked a little.
Yeah,
actually, the check mark for the people who love the nitty gritty of how that was created by Tina at Ignite.
Oh boy!
We were sitting at a table. I think it was right before we launched FRD. I think it was, and she just whipped it together. And just like everything else, the most permanent solutions in the world are temporarily implemented, right?
Yeah, by a non-graphic artist.
Yeah. And so we got those up, and it worked. And then we're like, maybe we should fix that. And so we did. We did.
Yep.
So, that's about all I got. That's about all.
Yeah, me too.
I
did realize.
Go ahead.
No, I did a thing. I'm kind of hitting the halfway point of that series, that article series, but then I realized I knew I had at least 4 more to do, but then I found some more that are going to have to happen. So it's going to take a little while. These things this is what always happens.
Well. from this holly jolly good morning in Washington, D.C.
Yep.
It's live on Saturday Night Live. Oh, anyways, yeah. So I guess that about wraps it up, guys. We'll be back tomorrow, and hopefully more things will happen between now and then.
And I'll be upright.
Maybe.